Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. We're going to talk fashion. It's been a while. Usually we talk about the end of fashion, that fashion is dead and this and that. Well, today we're going to talk about Sex and the City and just like that, fashion, Sarah Jessica Parker's Carrie Bradshaw character. We're going to talk about Vivien Westwood, and we're also going to talk about how stylists manage to snatch up special limited edition pieces for their actresses and characters, or was it in this case a case of Sarah Jessica Parker snatching the outfit for herself? Ooh, there's a lot to talk about today. But first, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button here on YouTube to gain access to extra perks as a member. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob, all spelled together there as well for extra perks. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream several times a week. Come join the fun. Come join the chats. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. Okay. Y'all, let's begin with the picture. Spoiler alert. First of all, if you do not want to have anything spoiled for you about the upcoming season 3 of And Just Like That, the TV series on HBO Max, I believe. Maybe it moved over to HBO by now, with Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, then stop watching, because I'm about to show you one of the outfits that will be seen in the new season. I know some people don't want to see any outfits before the show airs, so you have been warned. You have been warned. Warned. Okay? From this moment on, spoilers. 3, 2, 1, here we go, we'll go. And just like that, T. And I couldn't help but wonder, what would Carrie wear in a certain episode of season 3? Hit it, Bubbles. Now, the Zoe report, I'm crediting here the the Instagram account that posted this. Now, there's a lot to open up here, you guys. Let's talk about this. Please follow me here. There's a very precise trajectory that I'm on, and I want to get to the point. It's going to take connecting the dots first, but that's what critical thinking is all about. And this is also knowledge of history of fashion is very important in this case. Please listen to me till the end. You will not be disappointed. This is really important. Even though we're just talking about fashion, there's more to this story than just fashion. Okay, so now the Zoe report took a dress that Carrie wore in the last season of Sex and the City, and now they took one of the leaked images of what Carrie Bradshaw is wearing in the new season of And Just Like That, and they said something in their caption, something to the tune of, oh, look, this outfit from And Just Like That is referencing her famous look from the last season of And Just Like That, of Sex and the City. Now, me knowing fashion history, I immediately saw what this was, what she's wearing here. And it has nothing to do with what she wore back then. The problem here is that the people that watch Sex and the City, or the people that are watching And Just Like That, they do not know much about fashion, okay? And they are very mean-spirited. Why am I saying this? I opened up the comment section underneath this post. I got depressed just reading the comments. It made me so sad. People did not get it. They did not get it. People are just saying, oh, she looks like a witch now in this new outfit. The stylist should be fired. It's so ill-fitting. It doesn't look good on her. Why is the hemline so terrible? Why is the hemline so ugly? Like, why does she look like she's poor? Why does she look like, like she's been cleaning the floors? Why does she look terrible? Like, this was the look. They can't get this perfection again. Nice try, but it's terrible. She looks so old. The ageism in the comments. The ignorance in the comments about this outfit is appalling to me. And every idiot and their single-digit IQ brains unfortunately has access to internet, to a telephone. Really beats me how they manage to actually use a phone. How do they manage to learn how to use a phone if they're so stupid that they can't understand what's going on here? And yet they know how to use a phone. Okay, well, let's get to the explanation. First off, this dress here is Vivien Westwood. And it's called the Cinderella dress. Now we start to understand, if you know your history of fairy tales and stories, you know Cinderella, of course she was in rags, from rags to riches. Vivien Westwood has been so ahead of her time when she was alive, may she rest in peace, and she still is ahead of her time. People say, oh, it's ill-fitted in the bodice. It's ill-fitted on purpose. Vivien Westwood was famous for asymmetric cuts. She was famous for twisting garments on purpose. The thing is, you people are brainwashed to believe that clothes have to be square and straight cut. And you know why you're brainwashed to believe that? Because the fashion industry wants you to believe that because it's cheaper for them to manufacture simple cut clothing. The less seams they have to do, the less tailoring they have to do, the less contouring, the less twisting and turning they have to do, and the more they can maximize their profits. Okay? They're brainwashing you to believe that that boring cut, square cut shirt, pants, whatever, skirt, dress, the more boring it is, the better it is for you. But they're going to still charge you a ton of money for it, even though they've maximized their profits. Now, what Vivien did here was an analysis and a study in the body, in the shape of the body, adapting the garment to the body, to the twisting and the moves of the body, bearing in mind that Cinderella had nothing. She had rags to work with. So she wanted to resemble, you can see here on the breast area, that kind of like thing that looks like a tear, the twist. This is all done by hand, by the way. So don't think for a second that, oh my God, it's ill-fitted. It's done on purpose because it's a conceptual piece. It's very sculptural. But even this is besides the point. Believe it or not, I have something much more important to tell you in this video. And this is why I told you at the beginning of the video, stay with me. We're getting there. Why do you think Sarah Jessica Parker, of all of the episodes of Sex and the City and Just Like That, why is she just now wearing the Cinderella dress? Why am I saying this? The Cinderella dress is a dress from the 90s. Okay, this is not from one of Vivien's last fashion shows ever before she passed away. No, this is a very specific dress that was very dear to Vivien Westwood's heart. Matter of fact, Vivien Westwood wore this dress herself at the end of her fashion show in the 90s. The Cinderella dress. In fact, Vivien loved this dress so much that she wore it on multiple occasions, over and over and over again. Matter of fact, Vivien's husband, who survives Vivien, in an interview just a couple of months ago, talked about the Cinderella dress and said that it was one of Vivien's favorite dresses. Matter of fact, she wore it so much that after so many years of wearing it, it started tearing. And she would hand stitch it and repair it herself and wear it again. And it would tear again, and she would repair it again. She loved it that much. Now, why would her husband, Andres Kronthaler, talk about this dress just a couple of months ago? And now, just a couple of months later, we see Carrie Bradshaw wear this dress. Connect the dots, people. What just happened this past June 2024? Andreas Kronthaler took Vivien Westwood's own archives of her own clothes and auctioned them off. He said that it was Vivien's last wish, or one of her wishes, to sell off a ton of her clothes for charity. Although I think to myself, why didn't she do it while she was alive? I mean, conspiracy theory, did she really want to sell all her clothes, or is he doing it and saying that she wanted him to do it? Give him the benefit of the doubt. Give the man the benefit of the doubt. But it's interesting that on that YouTube interview that he gave, and you can check out his interview on YouTube, the clothes, part of Vivien Westwood's own archives was auctioned off at Christie's. The Cinderella dress was one of the most important dresses sold at that auction. Now, when I heard that Vivien Westwood's private archives were going on auction, of course I wanted to purchase something myself. However, I knew that I would never be able to afford any of those pieces because I knew that something like this would happen instead. I knew that very rich people who just want to show off that they have a piece of heritage history, blah, 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 are going to not care about the money. They're just going to go up with the price. They're going to outbid, and they're going to buy it no matter how much it costs. This is what now, officially, I did not receive confirmation from the team of Sex and the City and Just Like That. I did not receive official confirmation that this was the piece auctioned off, but it's a little bit too close to the auction and to that interview to think that, oh, they just bought this vintage pre-loved somewhere else. No, I believe this is Vivien's own. I believe, it's just my personal opinion, that Sarah Jessica Parker is actually wearing Vivien Westwood's own Cinderella dress that was auctioned off at Christie's this past June. And again, I repeat, we're getting to the point. You know, it takes me time to get to the point, but you need time. Knowledge is multifaceted. Sharing information takes time. It's not just about 1 + 1 is 2. Bye. Connect the frickin' dots, people. This is a big problem. Exhibit A, Kim Kardashian at the Met Gala wearing the Marilyn Monroe Happy Birthday, Mr. President dress. They gave it to her to wear it because she could afford it. This is what I'm talking about. The destruction of pieces that are historical value. And the reason why she got the dress and not a museum, because this dress, if you know your fashion history, I don't care if you don't like how this dress looks. It's irrelevant what you think if this dress looks good or bad. That's besides the point. The point is, this dress was very important to Vivien Westwood. This dress was a part of her legacy. She wore it until it fell apart. And then she repaired it by her own hands, with her own hands. So this dress belongs in a museum. But you see, here we get finally to the point. It's because of people who have limitless funds. Limitless funds. It's because of people like that who don't care about the heritage. They just want to show off that they can wear it. It's because of people like this with money that museums cannot buy these clothes because the museums don't have the money. That's the point I'm getting to. A museum did not have the money to pay for this dress because the dress was supposed... Let me show you the next picture and you'll see what I'm talking about. Here is a screenshot of the Christie's catalog auction from this past June, and you're going to see on the photo what their estimated price was, and then you're going to see for how much it the dress, the Cinderella Vivien Westwood dress, actually went for. Let me show you. This is Vivien's own Cinderella dress. Estimated price, 2,000 to 3,000 British pounds. Look at the price realized. 25,200 pounds. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, Sarah Jessica Parker is wearing the Cinderella dress in And Just Like That. Now I wonder, who bought this dress for 25,000? Not a museum, I can tell you that much. Once it's purchased and worn by an actress in a movie or a TV show, it has to be altered. So it no longer has the shape of Vivien Westwood's body. Unless, for some fortuitous coincidence, Sarah Jessica Parker has the same build as Vivien Westwood. I don't think so. So, unless they don't have the same body type, this dress has to be altered to fit Carrie Bradshaw in one scene. So for the sake of that one scene, we're going to destroy this piece that you did not care about, spending 25,000 pounds on. You don't care. You just kept outbidding each other. I'm probably two Oompa Loompas with a ton of money. We're sitting there lifting those little things, outbidding each other just because they can. So no museum could afford to get this piece. I'm just speculating here, okay? I just find it very sus that just a couple of weeks after this goes for auction, she's wearing it in an episode of And Just Like That, which isn't out yet, by the way. It's a leaked. I just find it very suspicious. Now, I am giving Sarah Jessica Parker and the And Just Like That production team the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they found another copy of the Cinderella dress. Maybe Sarah Jessica Parker is not wearing the actual Vivien Westwood's own Cinderella dress, but I think she is. And if it's true that she is, then shame on them. And they're going to tell you they did it to preserve the heritage of Vivien Westwood. They paid all this money for a good cause because the money went to charity. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You could have given the money for charity without destroying the dress. Okay? And you're not doing Vivien Westwood no favors by destroying this dress for one scene in an episode of And Just Like That. That's just my humble opinion. Call me crazy. That's my humble opinion. And we were just talking in another video of mine about, tanners and body lotions and making the skin look more tanned for television and how that stains clothes and how it stains furniture. Let's go back to the other picture. Look at Sarah Jessica Parker's legs. She is lubed up for the gods. Look at her chest. Look at her legs. They're glistening with oil. And they are brown. Same with the chest area. You want to tell me that this is her natural skin tone? I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. So, you be the judges, people. This is my point. My point is certain dresses, certain items have a historic value. They're not supposed to be worn in TV shows after a historic figure in fashion history has worn a piece like this. Now, for the big Vivien Westwood, fans out there, you might come for me and say, yeah, but you know what she did with her son when they burned all of the punk archives. At a certain point, they went to they created a little island and they burned all of the, Sex Pistols archives and everything that she did with, as much as she could find that she did with her back then hubby, Malcolm McLaren. she burned those up for a reason, you know, and a lot of people were really upset about her burning up the punk archives, but that is punk. Burning up the punk archives is punk. It was her choice and her son's choice. Why did they do that? So what I want to say is some people might come for me and say, yeah, but she also burned up archives. So somebody wearing her dress, what's so bad about it? She burned those archives for a reason. The reason they burned those archives was because people were price gouging on punk artifacts. Punk artifacts and relics from the punk era were made out of protest. Okay? Most of them by hand. They were manifestos, they were banners, they were t-shirts done by hand. And of course, then collectors and gallerists and scalpers and gougers started selling those for huge money. Tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Vivien said, no, these pieces are not made for that, so I'd rather burn them than have you play who's going to get richer with these items. These items were made by punks, and punks were fighting the rich. Punks were fighting the corruption of the system. And now to have those clothes being worn by the rich who are kind of playing collector, she would rather burn them down. And so that's why the burning of that collection happened. I know my history, so don't come for me because you're in for a treat, okay? So now, this is a different situation here. You might say, yeah, but then, you know, so let her destroy the dress. She's not destroying the dress for the right reasons, you guys. She's destroying the dress for the wrong reasons. And I'm not saying that Sarah Jessica Parker is destroying the dress per se. Maybe she took really good care of it. Maybe they preserved it just like Vivien had it when Vivien was wearing it. I'm not saying that this dress is now destroyed. What I'm saying is this dress should not have been worn by a living person again. To begin with. If you want to auction it off for charity, great, way to go, Andreas Krontala. But then, whoever is buying this dress should preserve it in climate-controlled temperature. This is Vivien Westwood's, like one of her favorite dresses that she made herself. You do not wear this dress. You can wear a ton of other Vivien Westwood dresses, not this one. I'm sorry. Just know. So there you go. When this episode airs, you who have watched this video, you will know. You will know. And you will check out the comments about people talking about this. You're going to read, oh, the dress is so ugly. It makes no sense. The hemline is terrible. No. Because they have no freaking clue what they're talking about. But you will know. That's important. Pally Hesta says she wore the dress for profit to show it off. You mean the episode in this episode, not Vivien, but Sarah Jessica Parker as Carrie. Exactly, Corey K. Just like Marilyn Monroe's dress should not have been worn again. What's the ultimate blasphemy? What, are we going to see Kim Kardashian on next year's Met Gala red carpet wearing Jackie Kennedy's pink Chanel suit from the day when her husband was shot? With the blood stains of her husband still on the dress? Sure. Why not? After all, morals are not in fashion anymore. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you've stuck with me thus far in the video, I'm very proud of you. Thank you, because this was really important. It just takes the time it takes to get to the point. Because knowledge takes time. Subscribe, thumb up the video, and never give up on love. Bye.